Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're taking the local service guidelines from Reliance HVAC Indianapolis and turning them into your ultimate survival guide for extreme weather climate control. You know, if you live around central Indiana, your home's heating and cooling system is fighting this daily invisible battle against the elements. And today, we're exploring the exact playbook to help you win it. So let's dive right in. To get you completely prepared, we're going to run through 5 quick chapters today: the Extreme Climate Challenge, common system failures, golden rules for homeowners, technical standards that matter, and finally, the 3-step service process. Okay, let's jump straight into Chapter 1, the Extreme Climate Challenge, right here in central Indiana. It is absolutely fascinating to look at the sheer scale of what this equipment actually has to endure. Plainfield's humid continental climate creates this brutal 100-degree seasonal swing. I mean, we're talking about July heat indexes regularly hitting 105 degrees, with that crushing humidity that just forces your AC to run continuously. Then, fast forward just a few months, and you've got sub-zero January plunges demanding nonstop furnace operation. This relentless extreme cycling, it completely wears down compressors and burns out blower motors so much faster than they would in a milder climate. But hey, it's not just the temperature. Beyond the heat and the cold, local geographical hazards add a whole other layer of physical stress. For instance, that clay-heavy shifting soil, especially common over near the airport, actually damages underground refrigerant lines as the ground expands and contracts. Add in those intense spring storms rolling across the flat landscape that cause massive power surges, which absolutely fry sensitive control boards, plus brutal winter freeze-thaw cycles that crack condensate lines, and man, you've got a perfect storm for system stress. Which brings us to Chapter 2, Common HVAC System Failures, or, as I like to call it, the breaking point. Picture this. It's a terrifying moment as a homeowner. It's 95 degrees outside, you're sweating, but your indoor AC coil is literally covered in thick ice. It seems completely counterintuitive, right? Like, why on earth is it freezing when it's boiling outside? Well, the source material highlights a few really fascinating culprits for this. Basically, this freezing happens when your system just can't breathe or cool properly. It's usually due to low refrigerant from a system leak, completely dirty filters that severely restrict airflow, or a dead blower motor. And that high Indiana humidity we talked about, it just makes the ice formation so much worse. So the absolutely crucial point here is, if you see ice, you need to shut the system down immediately to save your compressor from completely destroying itself. Now flip the calendar to winter, and you might face the exact opposite nightmare: short cycling. This is when your winter furnace runs for maybe 2 minutes, shuts off, and then repeats constantly without ever actually heating the home. It is incredibly frustrating, and it's often caused by a failing flame sensor, a cracked heat exchanger, or, and this is super common in homes built during Plainfield's rapid housing booms, simply having a unit that is improperly oversized for your home. It wastes a ton of energy and rapidly accelerates wear and tear on your gas valves and igniters. Let's move on to Chapter 3, Golden Rules for Homeowners. This is all about making smart decisions. Take a look at this number, $5,000. The guidelines point out this magic number to keep in mind, and it becomes absolutely crucial when you're facing that highly stressful repair versus replace decision in the dead of winter or the peak of summer. Let me break down exactly how this works. It's cleverly called the $5,000 rule. You simply take the estimated repair cost and multiply it by your unit's age in years. If that total exceeds $5,000, replacing the unit makes much better financial sense. So, say you get a quoted $600 repair on a 10-year-old system. You do the math. 600 times 10, boom, 6,000. That makes it incredibly clear that it's probably time to invest in a brand new, highly efficient system rather than constantly patching a sinking ship. Honestly, it takes all the stressful emotion right out of the decision. And here is another absolute game changer I found: the 3-minute rule. If your AC shuts off, maybe you bumped the thermostat or perhaps the power flickered during a nasty summer storm, you must wait at least 3 minutes before turning it back on. Why? Well, this brief pause allows the refrigerant pressures inside the system to fully equalize. Starting a compressor against unequalized pressure severely strains the motor and the electrical components. So this simple 3-minute wait literally protects your system from tearing itself apart. All right, Chapter 4, Technical Standards That Matter. This is how we separate the real experts from the guesswork artists. It all starts with the math. Proper sizing for a new system isn't just looking at the old unit and matching its tonnage. Real experts use what's called an ACCA manual J load calculation. This is a precise mathematical standard that determines a home's true thermal needs based on square footage, insulation levels, window area, internal heat gains, and get this, even the direction your house faces. It's absolutely required to prevent the short cycling and high humidity issues we just talked about. Additionally, you want a contractor who utilizes Manual D standards. These are detailed calculations specifically for ductwork sizing. They look at airflow requirements, friction rates, and available static pressure. Using Manual D ensures that conditioned air actually reaches every single room properly. It prevents those incredibly frustrating temperature imbalances. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when your downstairs living room is freezing cold, but your upstairs master bedroom is an absolute sauna. This slide right here perfectly captures the massive difference between amateur guesswork and professional standards. An amateur matches old tonnage. A pro conducts a rigorous Manual J calculation. An amateur charges refrigerant by feel until a line feels kind of cold. A pro legally and precisely measures subcooling and superheat using calibrated gauges. An amateur skips town codes, while a real pro secures the proper Hendricks County permits to keep you legally protected. These are the certified EPA-compliant standards that Reliance HVAC Indianapolis uses to safely and permanently restore your climate control. Let's wrap things up with Chapter 5, the 3-step service process. It's all about providing a seamless experience. Look, when you're sweating in your living room in July, you do not want a complicated ordeal. Reliance utilizes a highly transparent, streamlined 3-step process to get your home comfortable again, and often on the exact same day you call. It's simple: contact and dispatch, diagnosis and approval, and finally, repair and verification. Let's break down why this flow works so beautifully for the homeowner. First off, a real human dispatcher answers the call. No automated robots here, and they immediately gauge the urgency. Once a tech arrives, wearing shoe covers and laying down drop cloths to respect your home, you get upfront written pricing before a single wrench is even turned. Because they arrive in trucks fully stocked with the specific parts that fail most often in Indiana, they can usually fix it right then and there without having to order anything. And the absolute best part, they don't just fix it and run. They perform a complete system test cycle after the repair to verify it works flawlessly, while offering an honest evaluation of whether you should repair or replace, using those exact rules we learned earlier. Which brings us to our final question today. Is your HVA system truly ready to survive the next 100-degree temperature swing? As extreme weather kind of becomes our new normal, your home's climate control is no longer just about comfort, it's about survival. And it's about protecting a massive financial asset. So before the next heat wave hits, it might be time to do that $5,000 math for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, stay comfortable out there.